It's about time to head to the airport for another BDA trip. This time out to Orlando for our BDA Florida conference. But first, I have to drop this little guy off. I gotta leave him. It's my least favorite part. Wait.
So happy we're in Orlando, Florida with Kate and Cardi B. Yay! I love these guys. So tomorrow, pretty excited. We're going to be talking about legal issues in schools, how to prevent litigation in schools, how to make sure that kids get what they need in schools, right? So how do kids end up in the least restrictive environment and getting FAPE, or free and appropriate education?
So there's been a lot of work up till here, and I think disseminating this piece of the science will help a lot of kids here in Florida.
And I'll say, as someone who recently began working in schools again after a brief hiatus, I'm looking forward to the content that we're going to be talking about, because you want to make sure that you're doing right by the kids that you're working with, and you're following all the laws and the rules, and taking care of the kids in the best possible way. So these people know what they're talking about too. The lineup, it's going to be really good.
We're very social organisms as human beings, and behavior analysts seem to not discuss some of these factors that are anthropological. And we, as a species, human beings, will do anything for our families. Raise your hand if you feel like you would do anything for your family. Damn right. When you can create a work culture where people around you make you feel safe and they're not under threats of coercion of losing your job, you've created an environment and a culture that's the opposite of that toxic paraprofessional. Because you know when the person that's around that learner is happy, engaged, they feel safe, they feel like the little kitty that someone's looking out for, you know that they're going to have a positive affect and they're going to have a positive impact on the learner, right? So it's anthropological. Let's look at these things. We have dopamine, which can be addictive. Serotonin that's released. So in other words, when we're around people we care about, there's endorphins. These are all things that are automatic reinforcement that we get from being in groups. Some of them we chase inappropriately through drinking or through ego or through status. That's not our true self. But the one I want to talk about today is, have you ever heard of oxytocin? Pretty interesting, isn't it? It's like the love hormone. That was weird, sorry. It's like the cuddle, the hug hormone. Building relationships, trust, the team around you, that's when oxytocin is released. Again, I'm not trying to claim that I know everything about the neurology and the biology of this, but I do know one thing. Years and years of evolution have resulted in phylogenetic behaviors that make us feel safer together in groups, right? Let's look at it. It's actually something that's released from the hypothalamus and secreted from the pituitary gland. So it boosts our immune systems, gives us lasting feelings of calm and safety. When you provide reinforcement and you reinforce someone's behavior, you actually get a release of oxytocin in person, not online. Person, face-to-face interaction. When the person receives the reinforcement of your behavior, that person receives a dose of oxytocin. What sucks is women have way more of it than men. We're like blockheads. We don't have as much of it, but women have this, especially during childbirth. It's the bonding chemical. Why are we overlooking the fact that we function better in groups with people that we build trust with? Giving, and not expecting something in return. That's behavioral karma, you know, like behavior analysts always think they have to give positive reinforcement and expect some immediate...
So that you're gonna see something.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen that way.
And then it's fake. Then
Yeah.
the reinforcement, people can tell when you're giving,
Yeah,
like,
when you're giving something and expecting something in
Insincere.
return,
Yeah.
it's disingenuous. It's like I'm manipulating you.
Yeah.
But when you're giving to increase some appropriate behavior and then not wanting anything in return, just that person succeeding, I think that's really what behavioral karma is.
that's
really.
exactly what behavioral karma is.
Awesome.